Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam UiTM di hatiku. Alhamdulillah, bersyukur kita kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala di atas limpah dan kurnianya kita dapat bersama-sama dalam platform ini walaupun secara atas talian bagi mendengar taklimat dari Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi TESL. Sebelum kita memulakan taklimat pada pagi yang mulia ini, marilah kita mulakan dengan umul kitab Al-Fatihah. Okey, terlebih dahulu kami dari seluruh warga Pusat Asasi ingin mengucapkan tahniah kepada seluruh pelajar yang telah berjaya mendapat keputusan yang cemerlang dalam SPM. Dan syabas diucapkan kerana telah berjaya mendapat tempat untuk melanjutkan pengajian di Pusat Asasi UiTM yang sangat-sangat indah ini. Para pelajar yang dikasihi sekalian, pada pagi yang mulia ini, para pelajar akan diberi taklimat oleh Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi TESL, Puan Hashima Muhammad Sukor, Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi TESL, dan saya Amir Faizullah Muhammad selaku moderator untuk taklimat pada pagi ini. Terima kasih kepada penceramah yang akan memberi taklimat pada pagi ini kerana sudi meluangkan masa dan menyampaikan beberapa perkara penting yang harus diberi perhatian oleh pelajar sepanjang melanjutkan pengajian di Pusat Asasi UiTM Cawangan Selangor Kampus Dengkel. Sebelum saya serahkan taklimat pada pada pagi ini kepada penceramah, ingin saya ingatkan kepada para pelajar sentiasa menjaga etika penulisan sepanjang program berlangsung dan beri keutamaan kepada pelajar yang ingin mengemukakan soalan. Link kehadiran akan diberi selepas tamat taklimat ini dan pelajar perlu menggunakan akaun Gmail personal atau UiTM untuk mengakses link tersebut. Tanpa membuang masa, dengan ini saya menjemput Madam Hashima Muhammad Sukor, Ketua Pusat Pengajian Asasi TESL untuk memberikan taklimat. Sekian, dipersilakan Puan.
Terima kasih Encik Ami. Boleh dengar ya suara saya?
Boleh.
Okey, Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih sekali lagi untuk taklimat saya mohon izin lah seperti tahun-tahun sebelum ini, saya mohon izin dari pihak moderator Encik Amir untuk saya teruskan taklimat saya dalam bahasa Inggeris. Boleh ya Encik Amir? Okay, Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum, good morning everyone. I know there are sometimes parents also attending this, so good morning, Assalamualaikum to parents, to teachers, to students of course especially. My name is Puan Hashima Muhammad Sukor. I am the head of program for Asasi TESL, and I'll be here to be talking about basically two things that I'll be focusing on: your responsibilities as the student and of course about the program itself. But first and foremost, again, I would like to reiterate what Encik Amir mentioned just now. Congratulations to everyone, each one of you. To date, the number that we have is 636. It's not easy to secure a spot with the Asasi TESL program because competition is intense. You have gone through that. You did the test, the online test. I'm sure all of you can remember that. I hope you don't look at it as a nightmare for you, but it was very intense. 30 minutes, 50 questions. You guys must have done very well. That's why you are here. And then you had to sit for the interview, being grilled with all sorts of questions. Some of you were asked to sing. Some of you were asked to explain a lot of things, personal things, experiences and whatnot. And so you must have done really well with the interview as well, which is why you are here today. So again, congratulations to each one of you. And of course, congratulations also to parents. You guys, the students wouldn't be here without parents and teachers' support. So again, congratulations. And of course, welcome to Pusat Asasi. I hope to see the 636 students that I have in the list right now on the 29th of July when we finally start our classes. Yeah, I know you'll be coming next week also for the registration and all that, but classes will start on the 29th of July, and that is when we will be able to see each other, classes and whatnot. Okay, as I mentioned, there are two things that I actually would like to talk about in my briefing. The first one is rules and regulations of the university, and finally the Asasi TESL program itself. What is it all about? What are the subjects? And where to go from Asasi TESL. Okay, it might seem like it's whole year, but a whole year is actually not a long time. You need to start thinking actually already. I hope you don't feel pressured with this, but you need to start thinking also where you want to go after your Asasi TESL program. Let's start with the rules and regulations first. Here is one of the most important documents that you must have. You should have it in your laptop, in your iPad, in your phone. This is important because, and I'm sure Hishi also have shared this, has shared this, okay? This is important because from here you can see the dates, okay? Specific dates have already been outlined for you here. When would your lectures be? As you can see here, first, your lecture will be from the 29th of July to the 15th of September 2024. That's 7 weeks of direct lectures. You attend classes, do your assignments and all. It's important because you must know that attendance is very important for you to be here. Otherwise, your learning process will be impacted. And you can see right after 7 weeks, you will have your mid-semester tests. So the first 7 weeks, very important for you to be able to perform in your mid-semester test, and then you have your mid-semester break. And it's on the 23rd to the 29th of September. And not just to know when the classes will be, but also when the breaks will be. We have had sometimes requests from students if they can go off for Umrah or if they can go off for a short holiday with their parents because they bought tickets and so on and so forth. And of course, you can always ask again, but if you haven't had any of these planned out, you must make sure that you do not plan for holidays, Umrah and all that when you know you're going to have your lectures and your tests, okay? And you don't only know what you need to do for this semester, it is also for the next semester, in which the lecture will start on the 6th of January. So from here, you can actually already plan the whole year, okay? Now, where can you have get access to your academic calendar? You can go on UITM's website under HEA, because you can see here, Office of Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic and Internationalization, but I believe mentors also will give you, your mentors will be your TESL lecturers, they will also share this with you. You can also have a look at it from here. You can screenshot this or you can take a picture, yeah? All right. So I'm not going to go through all of that, but I'm just trying to say that the first thing you need to do when you come here is to be aware of one of the many important documents, which is the academic calendar. Now, this is activity pendaftaran kursus. You have, as you can see here, there are 3 things here. Yeah? There's kursus, yuran, and bantuan. And there are dates here that you must adhere to. Very important, because if you don't register for your courses, for example, within the stipulated time, the stipulated date, then you're considered to not be a registered student, an active student for that code, and you may not be able to sit for the exam, you may not be able to sit for the final exam, your whatever assignments that you've done cannot be counted, and so that is why it is crucial that you make sure you are aware of these dates and you make sure that you adhere to these dates. Not just be aware and not think about it, but be aware, put it in your book, put it in your calendar book. By now, I hope before you come, I hope you would have, you already have a calendar in your iPad, or if you're old-fashioned like me, then I'm a book person. Okay, so I have in a calendar, a book calendar, and then I will write it right there. So I suggest that you write these dates in your book. I suggest that you put it on alarm in your phones, in your iPad as well, so that you don't miss out these dates. Yeah. All right. So again, this is not something that I'm going to go through a lot. HEA would do a lot more on this. It will go delve into this. But again, your mentors will talk about this as well. So basically, what are your responsibilities? And these are the rules that you have to follow. Yeah, first you have to daftar kursus, bayar yuran, validasi kursus, cetak validasi, cetak slip peperiksaan. I'm not talking about just when you come. Yeah, when you have things that you need to do from the moment you step here. You step into the compound, you have to register for your codes, your subjects, attend classes, and so on and so forth. As you can see, the last one is cetak slip peperiksaan. So that is something that you do until at the end of the semester. When you sit for your final exam, you must have your slip peperiksaan. So these are things that you must put in your mind, keep Tell yourself these are things that I have to do from time to time. Listen to the announcement by HEA, announcement by HEP. They will remind you from time to time. But that's as far as we can do. Yeah, we can just keep reminding. But if you don't take charge of your own responsibility here, there's nothing much we can do. Okay, but if you want to sit for your exam, you want to make sure that your assessments that you've put a lot of effort into will be calculated in the marks, in the grades. You have to make sure that first and foremost, register your subjects. Okay, I hope right now, so far okay, yeah? So far okay, Encik Ami? Okay, I will proceed. The next one is, all right. The next one is the Malaysian University English Test, which is MUET. Again, I'm not going to talk much about this because the next one I believe is on MUET by Puan Satya, who is the coordinator for MUET. I want to emphasize, however, that MUET is compulsory for all Asasi students. This is something that we tell every semester, the whole semester along the way, but somehow there are always students saying, oh, saya ingat tak wajib. Okay, but it is compulsory. If you do not have MUET, you cannot apply to go into any IPTAs at least, programs, because they have a requirement to look at your MUET results. Are you a band 1, band 2, band 3, 4, 5? Which one are you? It depends on what program you want to go into. So you must make sure that you sit for MUET. How that is done, where it's going to be conducted and all that, Madam Satya will explain about that. Yeah, so I hope you attend that one. And again, I said, put it in your mind. This is something that you must put in your mind as well. It is compulsory. If somebody says, tak wajib, mungkin tak kot, boleh lambat sikit ke apa ke, no. You sit for it when we tell you that you sit for it, okay? And I'm telling you, it is compulsory, and therefore do not trust anyone else if they say tak wajib, oh, this is this and all that. Don't go on TikTok, don't go on Twitter or anything like that. Okay, because this has happened before, students telling me, sebab saya tengok TikTok and all that, and when we look on TikTok, it was something that was mentioned by a senior several years ago. So that policy doesn't apply anymore. You have any questions about MUET, about courses and whatnot, you need to go to HEA, okay, Halal Academic. You can see me as the head of program. You can ask your mentors. Do not go on social media to seek for information. They may not have the most updated information. Okay, this is your responsibility. At the end of the semester, sometime in April 2025, you will fill in your UPU form. And we hope that by then you already have your MUET result. Okay, if you don't have your MUET result, you cannot apply. Okay, next one, attendance. Okay, here in UITM, we have this rule, we have this policy where we have an 80% attendance requirement. Okay, if you have less than that, you may be barred from the exam. Of course, we have warning letters, for the first time, 10% of your absence and whatnot. We go through the process, right? But if you fail to provide valid documents and MC, okay, from Pusat Kesihatan, any other valid documents, then it means that you had purposely not attended the classes. And so, of course, you may, if you do that constantly, you may not achieve the 80% attendance requirement, and you will be barred if we find that it is true that you don't have the required documents. So we don't want that, yeah? So you must make sure, of course, I'm saying you should have 100% attendance requirement, but the policy here says it's 80%, but go for 100%, yeah? All right, next one. Extracurricular activities. Every Friday, half a day of it will be dedicated for extracurricular activities, but you also have other days depending on your penasihat program. They sometimes want to do it on Monday night probably, or Tuesday afternoon and all that. But Friday there it is dedicated for extracurricular activities, so you don't have classes. At this point of my briefing, you don't have classes half a day of Friday, because that's when you attend to your extracurricular activities. Now, this is also as important as MUET, because in order for you to apply for UPU, you have this 10% merit from your extracurricular involvement. So you want to be involved as much as possible in extracurricular activities. Not only though for the 10% merit, but also for you to go beyond your classroom, you know, with extracurricular activities, you're not limited to your program. So you can be attending, joining a group of people, students from science, from law, from engineering, and TESL from other classes as well. So it's not just for the 10% merit, but it is also for you to get to know other people, develop friendships, learn new things, you know, grow yourself and all that. So it's important for the merit. If you look at it from a technical perspective, it's important for the merit, but don't look at it just as from a technical perspective, because if it is, then some of you might find this to be challenging. Okay, look at it also from a positive perspective. Compulsory, you must have that 10% merit. Okay. Next one, surveys. We have the entrance and exit survey at the beginning and at the end of the semester, and we also have the what we call as SUFO at the end of the semester. Now, the entrance survey is very important. Every code would have an entrance survey. So, for example, one of the codes that you will be doing this semester is TESL 014, which is Fundamentals of Academic Reading. So you will have to complete the entrance survey to tell us your existing knowledge about the subject. Now, you don't have to be afraid to say, I don't know much. We use this to see whether you have improved at the end of the semester, and so in turn will also help us to improve the program. So in the beginning of the semester, you have this entrance survey, fill it in. Don't be afraid to say, I don't know much about this. I don't know anything about this. I know just a little bit about this and all that. The hope is that at the end of the semester, when you fill out the exit survey, you'll be able to say, now I know more. So from, let's say, 2, now you are at a 4. If before this you're at 3, now you are at a 5. So that is the entrance and exit survey, which is also one of your responsibilities here as a student with Pusat Asasi. And then you have the SUFO, as I mentioned earlier, end of semester survey. This one talks about, it's a survey that focuses on infrastructure, focuses also on the lecture, the pedagogical aspect of it. Yeah, is the lecture teaching understandable to you or not? Has there been sufficient feedback, anything like that? And you don't have to also worry about whatever response that you want to give. We want honest responses because it is, we lecturers can't see who said what. Okay, so we want you to be as honest as possible, in the same way that it would help us to improve the program through entrance and exit survey. The SUFO also helps to improve the program and the lectures as well. Okay, one of your, you have you're coming here for an education, and so you have the right to have access to high quality education. And SUFO is one of the ways for you to express your satisfactions as well as dissatisfactions, to tell us what our strengths are, to tell us also what our weaknesses are. Okay, so that would be your survey, the surveys that you would have to sit for. Let's look at the next one. This is Sasiah Rupa Diri Pelajar UITM. Yeah. Well, TESL, I think a lot of you would know TESL students. We're known to be, I mean, a lot of other students are also as fashionable, but TESL somehow has that, I would say, impression that, yeah, you know, we put in a lot of thought on what we wear and all that. And I'm all for this, wonderful and all that, but we must know where we are. This is a university, this is a government institution, and we have our own Sasiah Rupa Diri Pelajar. So you dress to the occasion, and the occasion here is to study. You can wear whatever you want as long as it is in accordance to the Sasiah Rupa Diri Pelajar UITM. So if you wear, for the ladies, if you wear pants, make sure they're not tight pants, you know, none of you have leggings to go to class. You can wear pants. I'm not saying you can't wear pants. Just make sure that it is a professional pants. Make sure that it's not tight. Make sure that it is not transparent. For gentlemen, for the gentlemen also it's the same, yeah. So make sure that you have collared shirts, wear your tie when you're supposed to wear your tie. Now, this is especially important when you have a presentation. I have seen some students, they say they have presentation, but they're not properly dressed. You must know that for presentations, we do have marks for how professional you are. So if you have a presentation that you're due on that day, make sure you dress to the occasion. Let's say you don't know how am I supposed to dress myself up for a presentation, because when I was in school before this, we all wore uniforms. Then you turn to Sasyah Rupa Diri Pelajar UiTM. You can never go wrong with that. Okay, not just in class, but also when you are out within the compound. So whatever you wear within the compound of UiTM should be in accordance to Sasyah Rupa Diri Pelajar UiTM. Okay, shorts and whatnot not allowed. Okay, let's go to the next one. So this is the interesting part, I think. To me, this is the interesting part. The ones that I talked about just now, I'm sure you will hear about those from HEA, you will hear about those from HEP, from Madam Satya will talk about MUET later. So this one, you will only hear it from me because it is about the program itself. It is Asasi TESL, okay, Foundation in TESL, and our program code is PI020. Please remember this code as well. This comes a lot during the whole time that you will be here with us. PI020 refers to Asasi TESL. So if you there's an announcement that says PI020, you must know, you be alert, this is me. This is Asasi TESL. I must know what's going on. Okay. I'm going to talk about the organization structure actually, but I'm not going to go into the second one, which is the Faculty of Education. But suffice for me to say that for the Asasi TESL program, we here in Pusat Asasi is known as the Pengurus Utama. Everything is done here. Your classes here. It is also managed by HEA here. Everything that you do with your extracurricular activities also here. But the Faculty of Education, this program also has association with Faculty of Education, but more on an academic perspective. So when we do curriculum reviews, that's on the level of lecturers and all that. We work hand in hand with the Faculty of Education. So it's not just us. Sometimes when you're reviewing, when you're making, you're doing something for the purpose of improvement, you want to get the perspective of others, and how we do that to make sure that we're not just thinking from our perspectives here in Pusat Asasi is also by including the professionals there in the Faculty of Education. So lecturers from TESL are also highly involved with the curriculum review, as well as other aspects of that's academic in nature. All right, so what I'm going to just show you, however, that this is our organizational structure here with Pusat Asasi. We have the director, the pengarah, okay, Prof. Insinyur Dr. Ahmad Farid Abidin, deputy director, academic research and Innovation, Dr. Haniza Hasliza Abdul Khalil. Deputy Director, Student Affairs and ICANN is Mr. Mahadi Kamaluddin, and Deputy Director for Development and Sustainability is TS Dr. Nur Hafizah Kasmuri, PM, TS Dr. Nur Hafizah Kasmuri. And so I fall under the, and all, but because this is academic, I work directly with the Deputy Director, Academic Research and Innovation, Dr. Haniza Hasliza Abdul Khalil. Yeah. Okay, what is the Asasi TESL program? I know I've gone on Twitter, I want to know what do you guys read? All right, so some have said that it is a 2-year program. It used to be a 2-year program, but that was a very long time ago. It's at least been for 10 years that it has been only a 1-year prep program. So it's not 2 years, it's only 1 year. Providing that you pass all, in the condition that you pass all the subjects when you're supposed to pass it. Right. So it's a 1-year prep program, 2 semesters minimum. It is an in-depth skill-based program. Now, this is important, skill-based. Why is it called skill-based? It's called skill-based because when later I show you the subjects, you will see that the focus will be reading, writing, listening, speaking, and grammar. And when it is skill-based, it means that you have to do it every day, okay? If it is speaking lesson, you have to be speaking all the time. You can't be just absorbing. You can't be the person that you probably were back in school, where you just listened, or where you only had to copy and things like that. Here it's in depth. We want you to be the best. In fact, you are Asasi TESL students, so you must be the best. You have no choice but to be the best with regard to TESL codes. All right. Next one is entry to undergraduate courses in public universities via UPU. I've also gone on social media saying, oh, kena ke jadi cikgu, kena ke masuk TESL ke, what if tak suka, what if tak nak, ingat suka TESL, lepas tu bila setahun rupanya tak suka and all that. This is an open Asasi program, which means you can use Asasi TESL, your certificate, when you, at the end of 1 year, to go into any social sciences program. It doesn't have to be the BEd TESL program, although that is our main purpose as a program. Yeah, the main objective is to prepare students for TESL and non-TESL undergraduate programs at UiTM and other public universities. Can you use this to go into private universities? Yes, you can. But I focus on IPTAs. Yeah. What is the aim? You see the words that I have bolded. You must be, what we believe we can do is to help you become excellent, creative, responsible individuals who will contribute to the development of our country. Okay, that is our program aim. How do we do that? By improving your language skills at this point. And then you go into degree programs. Some of you will go into the teaching program. Now you become teachers, of course, one of the best occupations. Teachers produce doctors, teachers produce fellow teachers, teachers produce architects, engineers and whatnot. So you are definitely contributing to the country's aspiration to be a developed nation. So that's what we do. We may not know what you're going to do in your degree studies, but whatever that you do in your degree studies will definitely be enhanced with the knowledge that you already have here in Asasi TESL. Okay, so it focuses on language with hope that whatever aspects of language that you need to use when you go into your degree studies, you will be able to do it the best among all the best that we have. Okay, you have to be the best. Like I said, you have to be the best. We have Asasi Law, we have Asasi Engineering, we have Asasi Science, and we have Asasi TESL. Of these 4 programs, who should be the best in English? Of course, you, Asasi TESL students. You must be the best in English. We don't expect you to be the best in maths. I'm sure a lot of you guys will say, oh yeah, memang maths takkan boleh. Okay, we don't expect you to be the best in maths, because you're not doing Asasi Maths, you're not doing Asasi Engineering, you're doing or Science, you're doing Asasi TESL. So remember that when you applied to do Asasi TESL, it's not just because people said that, oh, they're best, ada drama, ni semua tu. It's not that, yeah. It is because of all those, yes, but also to make sure that you will be the best in your language proficiency. Now, it's not just program aim. How do we try to attain the program aim? Through your learning outcome and your topic learning outcome. When we talk about learning outcome, your lecturers will have learning outcomes every time they start their classes. So the first week, let's say for example, the first week in writing, you're supposed to be learning about how to write an introductory paragraph, where you must also have the thesis statement. Okay, now for some of you are thinking, what is she talking about? Don't worry, I'm just giving you an example. When you come here, one of the first things that you have to learn would be a thesis statement in writing. Now, going back to that example just now, your lecturer will start his or her lecture with a slide on learning outcome. At the end of the course, you must be able to, for example, here, let's use this example. This is literature. You must be able to apply basic knowledge and understanding of literary elements in literary text. Your lecturer will show this, but every time your lecturer starts something new, that is topic learning outcome. So at the end of the lecture, students should be able to explain the 10 elements present in literary text. You learn a lot of things in literature. One of it is 10 elements in literary text. Let's say your lecturer is using 2 hours to discuss these 10 elements. For that 2 hours, the expectation is for you to be able to explain each and every one of those elements in literary text. But that one is just the topic. Okay, as a whole, it's learning outcome, but every time you come to class, so that's why you shouldn't miss your classes, because when you miss your classes, you miss very important topics, and when you miss important topics, then you will some of you will find it quite challenging to try and pick up from the next class after you have missed that class. So you want to make sure that you try your very best to attend all your lessons, all your lectures. This is our program structure, yeah. This is the first semester. So this is what you're going to be doing this semester, what you will have to register. First one is fundamentals of academic reading, fundamentals of writing, fundamentals of listening, speaking, and grammar. You can see in the bracket I've written there, core. These are core subjects, very important that you try your very best to score in these subjects, because when you fill up your UPU form, you will have two types of CGPAs, yeah? Your grades. So the grade for your UPU will be based on TSL 014, 024, 034, and 041. What about the rest? The rest, bukan nak kata you boleh fail. You must pass all these subjects. You want to pass Asasi, you must pass all subjects, core or non-core. Okay, some students have said, oh, I didn't know I'm supposed to pass study skills. I thought I only had to pay attention to the 4. No, you must pass also college study skills, even though it is a non-core subject. You want to graduate from here, so you must pass everything. It's just that it does not contribute to the calculation of your CGPA UPU. 051 is college study skills. Now, the first 4 just now, I think that is self-explanatory. I think you know what it is. 051 is college study skills. This is where the aim of the code is to help you transition from school to university. Some of you would find it challenging. Maybe this is the first time you're away from home, or this is the first, some of you probably had gone boarding school, okay, where everything is set out for you. You know, by 10 o'clock, you're going to tidur, this time you go for prep, and so on and so forth. Here we don't have that. Okay, and that can be a culture shock for some, and you may tend to lose focus. So college study skills, the aim of one of the aims is to help you transition and make sure you don't lose yourself. You know, you're having fun here with your friends and all that, but you must remember your focus when you come here, it is to study. Right, it is for you to pass your Asasi. So college study skills does that. And then we have introductory literature. One is also a non-core subject. I'm aware that literature is not a compulsory subject in school. So for some of you, this is the first time that you're going to be doing literature. Don't feel afraid of this. Don't be disheartened by this. It is reading text, answering the text. What is the text? A little bit like reading, like a reading code, but when we talk about literature, of course, it's more stories. It's more flexible. It's more informal type of stories that you read, not like fundamentals of academic reading. But of course, there are some things, you know, like just now you saw 10 elements in literature and all that. It is a literature code, but don't be afraid of it. It's reading and trying to understand how to decode the poem, for example, how to decode this paragraph in this text. What you think about this character, what do you think about that character and all that. So it's a lot of you thinking and relating it to yourself. And then we have CTU 071 and IDA 071. This doesn't fall under the Asasi TESL jurisdiction, not under me, but we have our own coordinator for that. Yeah, but for the Muslims, you'll be doing fundamentals of Islamic education, and for the non-Muslims, you'll be doing human and education. So for CTU and IDA courses, you will be separated, Muslims and non-Muslims, and then you will some of the classes will combine. Okay, especially for IDA. All right, and this is semester 2. Not as many subjects as you can see. The first semester you have a lot of subjects here, but for semester 2 you have the same 4 core courses just now, which also will contribute to the calculation of your CGPA UPU. And then you have language and drama, and then again you have CTU. All right, it's CTU 072 and IDA 072. Yeah. Now you have the LT 092, language and drama. Again, I get this every semester. Some students saying, Madam, I've never done literature. I'm very afraid to do literature. Same thing, Madam, I've never done drama. I'm very afraid of doing drama. Well, I'm going to tell you right now that Drama obviously will require you to go up on stage and present and perform. But drama isn't the only code that would require you to do that. And listening and speaking, you have to give speeches and all that. Don't be afraid when it comes to language drama, rasa macam mana I tak tahu berlakon and all. It's okay. That's what we are here for, to teach you how to do that. But the focus is not drama only. The focus is to use drama to enhance your English language capability. Okay, textbooks. You have to buy textbooks. This for the Asasi TESL program, you spend I think around 400 ringgit maximum. And the books you buy this semester will also be used for the second semester. So you only buy it in the first semester. In the second semester, there will be no books for you to buy. You use the same books, right? So 400 for 2 semesters, which is basically 200 per semester, yeah? All books will be used for both semesters, and who will take charge of the books? Your lecturer will be in charge of that. So your lecturer will tell you, okay, this is the book. They'll show you the book, and they'll show you, they'll tell you how much it is and all that, and then they will tell you when to pay, when to get it, and all that. They will inform you of all those aspects. Yeah. Okay. Now, we talked about the subjects and all that. What is the emphasis in the Asasi TESL program other than language? We're not here just going to be talking about how to use present tense or talking, just simply talking and with no structure. Of course, there is structure. When in your reading class, we want to make sure that you know how to read and you know how to respond to questions. When you are in your writing class, it must be that you have read something and you know how to express your ideas in relation to the questions given to you. In your listening and speaking class, you have read something, you have written something. Now, you must know how to express it verbally using proper cues and gestures and intonation and so on. You have to do that in all our courses, even literature. Okay, I will ask you a question. I teach literature, so that's what I do. I say, what do you think about this? Why do you say that? Now, why am I looking? Why am I talking about this? Because I want you to remember to know now that you are now in university, so you're not only going to say to be exposed to questions which are yes or no questions. We give you yes or no questions, and then we extend the question by saying, explain your answer, explain your reason. And we don't just simply accept any answer. We have to try and understand your answers. Where do you get that? How do you know that is right? How do you know that is appropriate, for example? So what we want here is lots and hots questions. For some of you, for school at school level, they always say kebat, right? Okay, so lots is lower order thinking questions, and hots will be higher order thinking questions. Our aim is for you to be able to deal with hot questions. But in order for you to deal with hot questions, don't take lightly lots questions. If you don't master lots, you cannot do hots. So when you go to class, the first few weeks or the whole semester of the first semester, for example, grammar, in order for you to excel in grammar 2, you must have mastered grammar 1. So grammar 1 will help you understand and apply better whatever that you will be exposed to in grammar 2. Is that lots? To a certain extent, it is lots, because if you can't do hots in semester 2, it is probably because your lots, it's not you're not able to address lots questions. In addition to that, lots and hots questions would require that you respond in class and participate in class and be involved in discussions. There are a lot of discussions, in TESL programs, TESL subjects. You will go to reading, you're thinking, so I want you to change your mindset, only reading, or this is reading. So we just go to class, read a comprehension text and answer questions. That's it. No, you have a bit of a lecture talking about some of the technical aspects of reading. And then, yes, you will be given a comprehension text, and then you will be asked to answer questions. Some of the questions are lots of questions. When did it happen? You can just find it extracted from the text. But there are a lot of hot questions. Why do you think the character? Why do you think the event is considered as taboo to the society, for example? How do you answer this question? Because it's not in there. So this is based on of course, a little bit from the text, general knowledge, okay, your experience. These all will help. So you got to organize all these thoughts, all this knowledge that you have, and put them together and answer the question. Now, this means that there can be more than one answer. And that is the beauty of HOTS questions. There are more than one answer. If you can justify your answer, that's wonderful. So we want you to be able to get to HOTS, to be able to answer HOTS questions. Lots, of course, and as well as the important thing, the main thing at the end of it is that we want you to be able to address HOTS questions. How do you do that? And we know what we're supposed to do. How do you do that? Be active in the class. Reading. Too many times, we've asked students, Asasi TESL students, how many books do you read? I haven't read at all for the past 2 years. That's not good. Not only for Asasi TESL, actually, because if you want to be in academic setting, you have to read. Especially so, however, for TESL, because we have opinion-based questions, experience-based questions, current issues. We want you to be able to demonstrate your creative and critical thinking skills. How do you do this? Be active, as I mentioned just now. Listen to the answers your friends share in class. That would add to your knowledge as well. Different people have different experiences, right? And so you may have this experience, but when you go to class, another person says, well, I think it is because of this, because my experience was different. And that should broaden your horizon and think, I never thought of that. Yeah. So you want to be active in class. You want to be present in class. You want to listen actively to not only your lecturer, but also to your friends. Each and every one of us in the classroom have something to offer. We can offer our experience. We can also offer what we have read. Now, you can't just rely on that. Of course, you have to start reading. What do you read? Journal articles? You can, but you can't be reading journal articles every day. Read newspapers online about current issues. Read articles. Don't just read tweets. Don't just read what people write on social media. You can go on social media, but that should trigger you to think about, where do I get more valid information about this topic that this person has brought up in his or her social media? That's how you can then, when we ask you the question, why do you say so? Why do you think the society considers this event as taboo, for example? Okay. Then you will be able to say, well, the article says this, and we also understand culturally it's like this. I have also read that it says that it is like this. So when you have all this put together to justify your answer, this is, to a certain extent, one definition of, or one demonstration of your ability to answer HOTS questions. Where do we have HOTS questions? Reading, writing, listening, speaking. Grammar, you might be thinking, grammar kat mana dia punya HOTS questions? There are HOTS questions, error analysis. You're given a wrong sentence and then you have to find the error, not just find the error and then correct it. Why do you correct it as such? Because if you can explain why the correction is as such, it means that you have understood. Do we have that in literature? Literature, of course, a lot, because it's a story. Do you believe in the character? Do you agree with the character's behavior? Why not? Why yes? So on and so forth. So what does it say? It says that you got to be active learners for all your codes. Active, present in your classes. Participate, be involved, listen, respect. That is also important. When we have different perspectives, we must learn to respect. Okay, so all of this will contribute towards your growth. And when you grow in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your perspectives, in terms of your horizon, then you're not limited to lots of questions. In fact, you yourself will feel, I want to give more, I want to say a lot more things. That would push you towards HOTS questions. And we go by this, Bloom's taxonomy. If you look at this one, remember, understand, apply, these are considered as lower order thinking questions. When we ask you, what is the meaning of thesis statement? That is just remember or understand. But we ask you to evaluate. We ask you to create. Well, like for example, we have a lot of issues happening now in the society, which are all on social media. So sometimes we bring up these issues in class and we say, what do you think? Why do you think that happened? Why do you think, what should the government do? What should we do? What should parents do? What should what should students do? So these answers are not there. You don't have an article talking about all of this. But how do you get to this? You think about the situation, you connect it to yourself, you associate the situation to yourself, the context, and you try to make sense of it, and then you explain. How well can you explain? Listening and speaking will help you with that. How clearly can you explain? Grammar will make sure that your tenses are correct, and so therefore we're not going to be confused with what you're saying. Okay, reading will definitely help you, because when you're explaining the content, it's from reading. Before you can just say whatever you want to say, you got to write it down. Writing will help you with that. Literature will help you with what is not cast in stone. There's no black and white answer. Moral questions, for example, ethical questions. So we give you all these high order thinking questions in all of the subjects. Of course, we start with lower order thinking questions. So I hope I've not scared you, though. If anything, I think most of our TESL students, they are more than happy to talk, right? But you must remember, talking is not the only thing you do. You talk and then you write, you apply what you have learned. Okay, let's look at the grades here right now. If you are active in class, if you participate in class, if you listen to your lecturers and your friends, then you should be able to do all the assessment well. Now, we have generally all the subjects, a maximum of 4 assignments. Yeah, so you look at the subjects, you go 4 reading, 4 writing, 4 listening, speaking, and so on and so forth. So that's quite a lot. So time management is important. How do we calculate this? So for example, your midterm, which the weightage is 20%. Let's say you get a 12/20. Your first assignment is 10/15. Your second assignment is 12/15. And then your final exam, you have 40/50. When we calculate all of that, you got a 74/100, which is a B+. And if we go by Selang Markah UiTM here, yeah, so 74 is right here. So this is a B+, it's a 3.33. Of course, it's a good grade. A good grade here, because it's a B+, 3.33. All right. So if we go back to this one, how do we get these marks? Okay. The assessment that we give you, all right, you sit for your midterm, you do your assignments, and you sit for your finals. But to be able to perform here, that's what I was talking about just now. Be present, be active in your and be involved in your classes. Okay. Now, it may seem a bit too overwhelming for some of you, penatnya, so many subjects have to be all that. And I'm not saying that you have to be all the time like that. You come to class, you listen and all that. There are sometimes then you probably more of a writing person, you write down. You have to learn to manage yourself. Okay. All right. Next one. These are the due dates of assessments. Okay. You will be given this. But even if if we don't provide you with this, you should have in your calendar. So you can see week 1, usually week 1, week 2, week 3, we usually don't have anything, because that's where we teach you things. But week 5, you have, for example, 0141 of your assignments due. As you can see, week 5, only 1 assignment due. But as you go on, you will see, for example, week 13. Okay, 1 semester has 14 weeks, yeah? Week 13, you have 024 due, 051 due, 082 also due. So make sure that you keep tabs of these dates, okay? You may be involved in class and all that, but it's not just that. It's also being able to submit your assignments so that you can perform here, okay? Submit what kind of work? Work which demonstrates your ability to address lots and HOTS questions. So these are all interrelated, yeah? Okay, let's go out from academic aspects of it. Let's look at penasihat academic pelajar seliaan. This is PAPS. You have a mentor. Your mentor will be one of the lecturers teaching you. So you will see your mentor every week. So no reason for you to say that I cannot access my mentor. I don't know who my mentor is. The mentor will be, we will assign, for TESL, yeah? We will assign lecturers who teach you. Only one of your lecturers. What is the role of the mentor? Mentor looks at your academic progress, your discipline, your attendance. Other lecturers can say, this student who is your mentee has not been attending my classes. Can you please check? Course registration, validation, these are ways on how we remind you. But again, as I was saying just now, it's your responsibility and your extracurricular marks, your MCs and all that. And one of the most important roles of the mentor actually is a shoulder to cry on. It's not easy for some of you guys here, the first time you're away from home. This is suddenly very different academically, where you're supposed to explain, you're supposed to justify. It's a lot of things. So it's a learning curve, very steep. So you have your mentor to actually just talk to her. So it doesn't have to be just about the subject. It can be just, madam, can I talk to you today? I feel like talking about something. All the lecturers, Asasi TESL lecturers, will be more than happy to listen to you. Okay. Now, can you only talk to your mentors? No, you can also talk to other lecturers. Okay. Other lecturers, not just TESL lecturers. You can also have non-TESL lecturers that you may want to talk to. If you are involved with a lot of extracurricular activities, you will also get to know lecturers from other departments. So you may be more comfortable with some of them. Probably some of you are thinking, I don't want to talk to any TESL lecturers because I don't want them to know. I whatever it is, it is your right to decide who you want to talk to. The next one is class reps and assistants. Who is the class rep and who is the assistant? Among you will be two people who will be the class rep and the assistant class rep respectively. Who will appoint you could be your mentor or could be from among the classmates. Okay, what is your purpose? Your role is to assist lecturers in communicating with group members after lecture hours through WhatsApp. And some lecturers also have one whole WhatsApp group with everyone in class. Okay, so that one is very different from one lecturer to another. Get to know your lecturers and they will tell you how things will be done. How do we help you manage university life? These are your academic responsibilities. As I mentioned just now, you have your mentors. We have academic clinics. Is something I'm only just mentioning the first time. We also have your Asasi Open Day, where we help you to decide what you're going to do after this and so on. Non-academic responsibilities, you have clubs and associations. You have HEP activities, Hal Ehwal Pelajar, and you also have your counselors. Don't have a negative perspective about counselors here. Yeah, I know many of us have negative connotation about counselors based on your past experience, but you can see your counselors here if you have personal issues, personal problems. Every time that you are here, if you feel that it is starting to impact you academically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you can see any one of us here, not just the counselors, but any one of us here. But if you don't know anyone, the counselors are there. Okay, the counselors are not lecturers. Okay, so you don't have to be worried nanti dia bagi tahu ke apa ke tak. The counselors are HEP individuals. So they take charge of this directly. Where to after the Asasi TESL? This is where you can go. First one, as I was saying just now, Faculty of Education, UiTM. Of course, I want you to go to UiTM, but you can also go to other universities because, as I mentioned, it is an open system. You can go to law. If some of you probably realize that you like to do a lot of reading, presenting, and all that, writing and presenting, you can go into Communication and Media Studies, Information Management, Business Management. This is number 6 actually is one of the most famous ones, Academy of Language Studies, College of Creative Arts. This is where you can go. You tak boleh lah tiba-tiba rasa nak jadi doktor With Asasi TESL, cannot. It's social science. You can go into culinary if you want to and all that, but not here. Not science. Okay, what is the requirement though? I want to focus on BEd TESL. Pass all subjects. Your CGPA has to be 2.5 with 3 in 3 subjects. For Asasi students, only 2.5, yeah? And in UiTM, so you're special in that sense. You pass your METC test and you pass your MUET. Now, if you want to do TESL, I know some of you already have thought of this, please write it somewhere about METC, because a lot of students are not able to enroll into the BEd TESL program, not only UiTM, not only TESL, but any teaching programs with UiTM or other government institutions. If you do not sit for the test, and pass the test, you will not be called for the interview, and therefore you cannot enroll in any education programs, not just TESL. If it has ED, pendidikan, if you don't have METC, you don't pass METC, you don't sit for it, you don't pass it, you cannot go into it. Okay, you have to find a different route. A direct route would be this one. All right, what do you do in class? Now, let's talk about code of conduct. Please study your materials before lectures. Ask questions, be present, be involved. Respond. This one banyak, yeah, like not answering questions. We have to coax. Now, of course, the first few weeks will cut you some slack. First time you're just here and all that, but after 2 weeks, you have to push yourself. Must answer questions. Must respond to questions. Must ask questions. Okay, you're not just here to absorb. You're also here to. We can learn things from you as well. You can also ask questions. Not to your friends only, but also to your lecturers. Now, ask questions to your lecturers is not the same as questioning your lecturer. Yeah, you ask questions, seek for knowledge, seek for clarification. If you have issues with lecturers, codes and whatnot, you can always come and see me. Okay, next one. Take notes. Please take notes. So many students just listen and not take notes. You cannot remember what is already being lectured for a whole hour. So you must take notes and uphold ethics. Please do not plagiarize. There's so many AI tools these days, and we are taking putting in extra efforts to make sure that your assignments are not AI generated assignments. Do not plagiarize. Use it to help you understand better, but do not pass them off as your own work. Okay, we have nothing against AI. AI helps a lot. But when you use it to plagiarize, to copy, to pass it off as your work, that's unethical. Yeah. What's my tips to you for success here? Not only in academic aspects of it, but emotionally, mentally, and all that. Yes, spiritually. Remember God, your family while you're here, your parents. Be responsible. Be proactive. Balance academic and non-academic obligations. We're getting a lot more students with mental health issues, which we take very seriously. And we have realized that sometimes the issue would be that there is no balance. It's either you're too focused with academic responsibilities, or you're too focused with non-academic obligations. So you must find a balance between those two. Please respect others. If you don't respect each other, respect the teachers, your lecturers, respect your friends and all that, then it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be a toxic environment. Yeah, you must have a thirst for knowledge. Otherwise, the university is not your place. Knowledge is what you are here for. If you don't have that thirst, you will find yourself out of place. Okay, so you must have a thirst for knowledge. Thirst for knowledge doesn't mean that you are, for me to become a teacher, for anything, for growth of self. Yeah, you must have self-discipline. And finally, as I mentioned just now, please read. Yeah, reading is very important. Bacalah buku cerita ke apa ke, the library is there. Borrow books. I want to share with you some tips. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. This is Nelson Mandela. I'm going to share some of these with the lecturers. I'm hoping that the lecturers will show this to you in the first class. I want you to find out who these people are. Yeah, first is Nelson Mandela. You should find out if you don't know who he is, but he said education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. You can change your family. You can change yourself where you are. If you come from underprivileged family, education is one of the ways. If you have been disrespected, you go through abuse and all that, education is the way out of that. Yeah. Albert Einstein, I'm sure this is very, this person. He said, education is not learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. And that's where Hod's question is. If you want to know whether you have been educated or not, it would be whether you are able to think for the questions and respond, not only by just saying whatever is in the book, but also based on what you have in mind, your opinions. They matter, yeah? So you must remember, it's not just about memorizing. It's also about thinking. Thomas Edison, the next person. I've not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Will you fail here? In little ways. Okay, midterm, kadang-kadang fail. Or sometimes one of the assignments you don't do well. Or you maybe on that day, the questions that your lecturers had posed, you're not able to respond to them. It's okay if you have failed. It's just now you know that's not the way. So I have to find a different way. And you won't value success if you don't go through failures. Now this one, okay, our Prophet says that the best among you are those who bring greatest benefit to many others. Remember I said be respectful. You must have your adab. Respect everyone. You have the cleaners, you have lecturers, not just the lecturers, yeah. Non-lecturers, the cleaners, you have the cleaners here. These are people who make our lives better. Okay, if you don't have the cleaners, things are going to be chaotic here as well. So be the best to these people, be kind, be beneficial to them. All right, how are you beneficial to them? Like for cleaners, you know they are cleaners, but if you see people littering, pick it up and put it in the dustbin. Don't have to say that, there are cleaners here. Speak very nicely, speak properly, speak respectfully. When you go to HEA, when you go to HEP, okay, don't just go there and kakak, abang and all that, please, yeah. Encik, Tuan, Puan. That's how you address them. Cik, boleh saya tahu, Encik, nama saya ni, saya nak tahu mengenai ini. Bukan abang, bang, saya nak tahu. Unless you've known them for a long time and they say boleh panggil kak, boleh panggil, but that's different. But if you're there for the first time, Encik, Tuan, Puan, yeah? All right, and finally, be the reason why people believe in kindness, honesty, integrity, and positivity. Be that person. What is on paper? Everyone can do that, but can you be a kind person? Can you be someone with honesty? Can you have the integrity? Are you positive? Can you make people feel good? Can you make people feel that you are the reason why I feel that I am successful, and so on and so forth? Be that person, and that says a lot more than just what is on paper. You may have gotten a 4 flat at the end of the semester, but if you don't have this, if you don't have kindness, you don't have gratitude, integrity and positivity, you still have a long way to go. All right, so enjoy your new adventure here. We look forward to you coming over here. I've come to the end of my briefing. Encik Ami, ada questions ke apa-apa ke?
Okey, terima kasih, Madam. Kita dapat banyak persoalan atau soalan yang berada di platform YouTube. Soalan tu bagi kami benda yang akan dijawab. Yang akan dijawab di ruangan Telegram, di ruangan grup WhatsApp nanti. Harap pelajar semua bersabarlah. Tunggu pemakluman yang akan diberi nanti. Okey, untuk kita menutuplah acara dan taklimat pada hari ini. Sebentar ya. Okay, semoga taklimat tadi dapat memberi maklumat yang penting serta manfaat sepanjang anda semua melanjutkan pengajian di Pusat Asasi. Kalau ada masalah, pelajar boleh datang berjumpa di HEA, boleh berjumpa di HEP. Dan akhir sekali, saya dan pihak kami mendoakan semoga para pelajar diberi kemudahan dan berjaya menamatkan pengajian di Pusat Asasi dengan cemerlang. Okay, sebelum kita tamatkan taklimat ini, ingin saya ingatkan, pastikan anda mengisi kehadiran menggunakan Gmail personal atau UiTM anda untuk mengakses link yang akan ditayangkan selepas ini. Okey, Madam, dengan itu kita tamatkan dengan sekian. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera, salam UiTM di hatiku. Semoga kita berjumpa di Pusat Asasi nanti. InsyaAllah.
Terima kasih.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.